Okay, well, guys, I'm excited. We are going to tackle this problem, which is the issues that pop up with the set, show, and close. So essentially, that is my goal for this topic today, is to eliminate the pain of appointment-based selling. Not everyone does it that way, but if you do it this way, I'm going to make sure that you got all the solutions you need to solve it. So if you guys don't know me, just a quick little background. My name is Dustin Bogle. I own multiple locations. They are boot camp and small group training model in Southern California, which is very high competition and expensive. So whatever problem you've gone through with your business, I probably have gone through the same. And so essentially at that level of locations, how many team members I've worked with, how many clients, different markets. So I've seen it all. And if I haven't, I probably know somebody who has gone the same thing you have. A couple other cool things. I do co-host a podcast with my buddy Matt Wilbert. It's called the Fitness Empire Podcast. So if you don't got a good podcast in the fitness industry, go ahead and listen to that one. We really bring some unique topics, I think, to the table. And so that is something. And then the other thing, like you see, got to shamelessly plug it. I am a best-selling author, and that is for my book, Reinforce Your Gym, on Amazon. If you haven't grabbed a copy, the three main sections are marketing, sales, and leadership, because those are the three things you probably most likely need to grow your business. And then last but not least, I am the CEO of Gym Reinforcements. We do digital marketing for gym owners, and then also we place highly trained sales reps into gyms to do their lead nurture. So it's not AI or a bot, it's an actual human, because I think most of us prefer that being a representative of our company. So that's a little bit about me. And that way, you know, I'm like you, I am in the trenches as a gym owner and have helped people who are in franchises, individual brands, you know, non-franchises, big box, you know, kind of open gym that you can go and do whatever you want, coaching programs, one-on-one personal training centers, all those types of things. So, you know, again, we're all trying to do the same thing, which is help make our country more healthy. And so these tactics I'm sharing with you, it's not just about sales. It's not just about persuading people to buy from you. It's to help them make a great decision, which is to make their life better, to get to the goals that they most of the time are unable to do alone. And they need a guide, an expert like you, to get them to where they want to go a lot quicker. And that is worth its weight in gold. So that is what we're going to talk about doing, is getting people to get out of their way and to join a great program like the one that you offer. All right. So goals for today: eliminate the pains of set, show, and close. You guys have probably run into these pains, one or maybe multiple of them. So the first, with sets, the biggest pain in the neck is you're just running ads or you're getting leads, but they're just not being responsive. So you just can't even set appointments. How could you sell someone who's giving you the cold shoulder, who's not even replying? It's just, you know, like choking you out day by day when you can't get them to talk to you. So we're going to talk about how to fix that. Next, maybe you do book an appointment, but they're no-showing you, and that could drive you crazy. You set all this time aside on your calendar, your time's valuable, and they're taking advantage of it. And it's really messed up. People do this. So we're going to talk about how to improve that. And then finally, the actual close, right? So you sit down, you take them through the presentation, and fear sets in, or self-talk, or self-doubt, or all these reasons that people choose not to buy now. I'm going to show you how to get around that. All right. And so that is what we're going to be covering in today's webinar. All right. So let's get into the good stuff. First, we're going to tackle the topic of sets. If you don't have enough sets, if you're not booking enough calendar appointments, this is what we're going to tackle, and what we found with GR, working with many, many gyms across the US, and then even at my own, because we sometimes sell a trial and get people in that way. And sometimes we do appointment setting model where we just sell them directly to membership. And so this is definitely me talking more to appointments, but I want to kind of expand everyone's mind. It doesn't mean they have to come to the gym. An appointment could also be a phone call. You know, if you're doing a discovery call, how many of those are you setting? How many of those are showing? They could really, you know, take advantage of you both ways. It doesn't matter if it's call or in person. We want to fix either one, whichever one you do, that it applies to the same. All right. So let's talk about it. If you're lacking appointments just in general, there's usually going to be three reasons I found why this number is not continuing to grow, or it's not hitting what your benchmark is that you want to set. All right. So let's talk about these three reasons. The first is availability. I find that a lot of people just don't have the amount of availability to satisfy the needs of their customers. They kind of just float around. They're kind of just available on call. but they don't have set sales hours. And that is what I think one of the bigger problems is. I think if you are the dedicated closer for your gym, you should have 30 time slots a week available. If you want to do 30 minutes or an hour, that's up to you, how much time you think you need to go through your sales pitch. But essentially, we need a lot of time slots. And in my opinion, they need to be heavily leaning towards the time that your clients are available, not when you would like to be available. And so there's this pie in the sky dream that you should build the business around your life and what you want. But here's the truth. The world is not going to just move around you and your needs. Your clients are available when they're available. They typically have 9-to-5 jobs, and they need you to be available around that if you want to sell. And so if you want to just make yourself available from 11 to 2, good luck trying to grow your business in the fitness industry. Like, how many people do you know with money that are available between 11 and 2? And that's what I find, the perfect, or the schedule that most owners are doing is maybe they coach a little bit in the morning, or they go do their work that they need to do, and they go catch a workout. Then they make themselves available for, office related stuff and sales meetings midday. And then at night, they want to go and have family time. Well, we got to give somewhere, right, to get the business to grow. Can you sacrifice 2 nights a week to go into the business and do sales, right? I know it's time away from the family, but if they got you 5 other nights, I think that's a pretty fair trade. But somebody needs to own it. And if that's not being done by somebody, then essentially we're really going to be struggling to grow. And honestly, if somebody cannot commit this many time slots, they should not be in charge of closing, because this should be their only role. What I tend to find a lot of owners is this hat is mixed in with other hats. They have a marketing hat, they have a coaching hat, they have a team training hat. And so this might get shaved down to 10 slots a week, 5 slots a week. And they're wondering, why am I not setting more appointments? Well, when people look at your calendar and see what's available, there's nothing available that fits for them. So they just won't book. And in sales, the more friction and the more hard things that we got to kind of work through, the more you're going to have a hard time getting people to buy from you. So we want to make this frictionless and have so many time slots that people are ready to, pick one that works for them, right? All right, the second one, besides how much availability you have, is some best practices when it comes to lead follow-up. So owners will say, I'm following up. Hey, Dustin, the leads are coming in. I'm following up. Nobody's getting back to me. I can't set these appointments. My response is always, how much are you following up? All right. Or how often are you following up? Because that's a pretty vague term, right? You could text them once and check that box and say, I followed up. But really, there's a continuum here. It's not yes or no, a binary thing. It's a continuum. Did you reach out to them 10 times, 5 times, 2 times? There's a lot of range in following up. So that is, I feel, the second big issue of why a set doesn't happen. Here's some follow-up stats, okay? 48% of salespeople never follow up, which is sad. 25% make a second contact and then stop. 12% of people make it to the 3 contact. 2% of salespeople are made on the first contact. All right. So that means of all the people you talk to on that text or first phone call, only 2% are going to buy. 80% of sales comes through in the 5th to 12th contact. So contact could be an email that went to them, a text, a phone call. So we need a lot of reach outs to get people to buy. 64% of companies admit they don't have a follow-up strategy. Salespeople and managers don't know how to follow up with a customer, right? That's really the big underlying issue. So that's what I say. Lead follow-up practices are pretty weak in most industries. I'm not just picking on fitness. Most industries are not reaching out more than once or twice, and then they're giving up and saying the leads are no good. In all truth, life is just busy, and people are being inundated with reach outs from companies. They're getting text blasts, email blasts, notifications, calls, and so it's a lot. You have to push through the noise. You got to get to that 5th to 12th contact to be one of the businesses that earn their business, right? So essentially, my belief is you got to make your bar 10 reach outs, and that can be spaced out however you see it. I tend to keep it pretty tight. I'm looking to do that in a matter of 2 to 3 weeks. So that's at least 1 reach out a day in the first week. I'd get 5 contacts, and then maybe I spread my other 5 over weeks 2 and 3. But in 21 days, I've reached out to that person 10 times. That needs to be the benchmark. And it has varying mediums, right? So you're going to do some are text, some are email, some are phone call, some are a video message. But essentially, we need to rotate and make sure we do a lot of reaching out to get our leads to buy. You can set up wonderful things like automations. You can have a dedicated sales rep. There's things you can do, but it's not that the leads are no good. It's that the leads are just living a normally busy life. And that's just what's going on in the world right now, right? Then the final part on best practices with follow-up is, I was saying this earlier, is what time are you reaching out? And in my opinion, most sales in the fitness industry happens in the evening. Honestly, it's not even my opinion. We have the data to back it up. In GR, we saw that we had over half of our sales come in after 6 p.m. and then another 20% came in after 3 p.m. So we were at almost 70% of sales was past 3 p.m. We looked at the timestamps of when we transacted. And guys, that makes sense. That's when people are off work in the morning. They got the morning rush, the morning scramble to get the kids to school and get to work. Then they go to work and they come home. And then that's when people take care of personal errands and personal matters. So if you're doing 0 reach outs at night because you don't want to work those hours, or you can't find a team member to work those hours, that is definitely a huge critical thing that's hurting your ability to set appointments, right? So that is the second thing, is lead follow-up practices. And then the final one around booking appointments is that nobody owns it. It's kind of just floating around the team. Everyone's kind of hot potatoing it around. And I kind of say the silly phrase, if no one owns it, no one owns it. And so essentially what it means is that if there's no one person on the team that knows this is my responsibility, no one's really going to take action on it and treat it like it's their main responsibility, right? And so it's kind of like we own it, and that's never a good thing. Like, hey, we should, or, you know, we should work on. And it's like, there's no we in business. Like, we're all working together, but we all need to have specific responsibilities and know who owns what specifically and where does the buck stop, right? If you can't hold one person accountable, it's going to be really hard to grow this part of your business, right? You have to know every key KPI that there's a single person who owns it. And so what I would say is, if I went to your gym and I quizzed your team, hey, who here is responsible for lead follow-up? Would everyone give me the same answer? Would they all say it because it's so abundantly clear? Or would there be a lot of confusion and like, I don't know, I think this person, I think it's the owner, sometimes the manager does it. And if you feel like your team would answer in a fuzzy way, it's time to get it more clear, right? And to make it so clear. Like, we know who the coach is. You go to the gym, they probably got coach on their back. They're taking control of the room. I don't have to know who the coach is, but I can immediately see in the way they take action that this is their room and this is their session. Who has that type of attitude and confidence with lead follow-up, right? That's what we want to see. And so one of the crazy things I tend to find, again, in fitness, we're one of the only industries that we just don't have a sales team, and then we're frustrated that no sales is coming in. Every business under the sun, there's a SaaS company, they got a sales team, right? If we are selling anything, and, you know, insurance agencies, car dealerships, everyone has a sales team. In fitness, we have coaches, and maybe we have a manager, and maybe the top of the food chain is a head coach, because we obsess so much on coaching. And you might get a marketing agency or run some marketing, but it's like this whole department gets neglected. And then we're wondering why sales are not growing. And it's because it's not even treated like its own department. And there is no people in that department. It's a bunch of people who are just kind of juggling it with other things. So if we want sales to grow, we need to treat it like it's its own department and put resources and energy into sales. All right, so that is why a lot of appointments just fail to be set. There's just not enough availability. We're not following these best practices of reaching out at least 10 plus times at the right time of the day, and then no one on the team is really owning it. Really, those are the 3 things. You might have thought it was something else. When those 3 things are happening, appointments are being set all the time, right? And that's what we want to solve. Okay. If you guys got any questions, drop them in the chat, and I'll just keep an eye on that and make sure I address those. But I'm going to press on to shows. Okay, this is probably, I think, the biggest pain point of the 3 is that people struggle big time in fitness because of no-shows. And so this hurts them, because you sit here and block out 30 minutes or an hour, and then the person never even shows up. So now your time is being wasted, and you're the MVP of the company. If the owner's doing it or a manager, the most valuable people on the team are given this task. And when people waste their time and don't show up, we're wasting those MVPs hours. And that is expensive payroll to just throw out the window. So if you're struggling with no-shows, I'm going to give you 2 ways to fix it. All right. And one of the first one is probably the best one, honestly. So the big thing is stop giving out free appointments. All right. A lot of times we think that's gonna make it no risk and get them to come in. But honestly, you're just saying you don't value yourself, you don't value your time. And when people pay, they pay attention. So just figure out a way. How could I get them to pay, but make it small where there's not going to be a lot of sales resistance? And to me, it's just adding a cheap $10 drop-in fee. You can call it a drop-in fee, you can call it a deposit, whatever you want to call it. But people who are really in pain and they want to solve their fitness problems, they're not going to throw a stink about $10. And that's what I think a lot of people worry, is that I'm going to get less appointments, I'm going to, hurt myself, but you're actually just qualifying them, right? If they're not willing to put $10 down to meet with a sought after expert like you, that says something about them. They're not really all in, and you just saved yourself a potential no-show if they were given an appointment for free. So what I like to do is to make that $10 sound like it's worth $100, because I'm going to pack it with so much value. So here's everything you can add in for that single $10 fee. Oops, I lost my video here. Sorry, one sec. My video got disconnected. All right, so here's all the things that you can essentially build into this $10 fee. So number one, you could say, I'm going to give you one of our sessions. Normally to drop in with us, it's $30. I'm going to hook you up. I'm going to knock 80% off. You're going to get it for just $10 because I want to help you out. And so you can choose, is it an actual session? Or some gyms I know do even a fitness test and an eval, and they'll have them do a minute of squats and a minute of push-ups, and they'll kind of see what their fitness abilities are and then proceed to move into a sales conversation. That's up to you. Do you want to give them a legit full workout, or do you feel like you want to test them out first and see their capabilities? It depends how deep you go, but that can be built into that $10 fee. If you have an in-body scanner, you could say, hey, I'm also going to get you on my machine. And you got to build the value. This is a $7,000 machine. It's going to read what's going on inside your body. It's going to give me a whole breakdown on your metabolism. I know how many calories you're going to burn. You're going to know. I'm going to let you take the printout with you, even if you don't work with me, right? So you see, I'm like building this $10, like, man, I'm going to get a workout. I'm going to get an in-body scan. And then we call it a fat loss blueprint. But I literally, as a coach, like, I can map out fat loss all day long for a client, how long it's going to take them, kind of like milestones along the way. So if you just got out a sheet of paper and you just kind of pretended they were going to lose a pound a week or 2 pounds a week, you can map out, okay, 30 days, at that point, we should be down about 8 pounds. When we get to 90 days to working together, you're going to be down 20 plus pounds. And you just start to build out a 6 or 12-month roadmap for them of how this is going to go step by step. And right here, we're going to go into a fat loss phase, and then I'll probably put you into a little bit of a maintenance phase here, and then we'll go back into a fat loss phase. And I'll just say, I'm just going to give this to you even if you don't work with me. This will be, on the house. But what you're doing is you're positioning yourself as an expert and making them say, huh, you really know your stuff. Like, I got to see your energy in the session. I got on your expensive machine. You built me this roadmap of how to get to my goals, even if I don't work with you. And the final thing we do to make it risk-free is we say, hey, if you work with us, we're going to actually take that $10 and apply it to your program. Or if you don't, we'll refund you entirely. And so when you pack in that much value, do you see now why no one's going to throw a stink about $10 if you tell me I'm going to get all of this for my measly $10 drop-in fee or deposit? So if you're having no-show problems, this is the fix right here. The first thing we do when a company comes on board with gym reinforcements, a gym comes on board, and we find out they do appointment setting, we say, okay, now that you got us here, we want to do this for you. Let us sell people into this $10, appointment, and we'll build out their whole value package of what they're going to provide. But we just don't stop until we feel like it's at least $100 worth. So when you add up all this, this is even well worth $100. I mean, they're technically getting their money refunded back to them or applied to their program. So it's literally no risk. So that is one of the best ways, if you're having no shows, is to make it no longer free. All right. So hopefully that was helpful if you're having a high no-show rate. The second is one of my favorites, and it's basically creating hype for this meeting. So if you think about it, in Hollywood, if they didn't create trailers, they would be gambling on how well the ticket sales are going to go with a movie, right? They're like, hey, this movie, let's kind of save costs. Let's not make a trailer. Let's just hope that the title gets people to walk in and check it out. Hollywood never does that. There's a trailer for every movie because they don't want to gamble. They want to be safe. They want to put a safe bet out there that they're going to make their money back. So they make a trailer. And so they don't play around. They don't take risks. They put millions of dollars into hype, all right, which are trailers. And then even sending the actors to go on a promo tour around the country and to do interviews. And this is all just hype. Like they're just out promoting and promoting this movie. But we don't put any hype or promo into them coming to our gym, which is going to be a huge win and opportunity for them if we treat it as such. So my question to you is, what media can you take and almost create hype and a trailer experience for them meeting with you to kind of put you on a pedestal? That's what we want to do. So a lot of times I find gym owners gamble on their appointments. They gamble, hey, I don't know if this person's going to show up. Well, if you didn't put anything to get them excited, then you're just gambling, right? Not only should we do the $10 fee, but we should also use media to get people excited, right? And so what are some things we can do? All right, well, you can have some automations if you use like a Go High Level, or your CRM has automations. But what about a client video? Like I'm sure you guys got some videos or before and after photos where clients said how awesome you are. If you don't, you need to start collecting those things like stat. But we often have our clients do a selfie video, and we do raffles. We'll say, hey, we're asking you guys to make a video. What's your experience been like at our gym? We're going to pick one lucky winner to win a free month of boot camp. And we'll get 10 to 20 videos, guys, and that's marketing gold, right? But then I also take it and I put it into my hype up automations for people coming to appointment. And I'll say, you know, meet so-and-so before training with us. This is their life. And here's what they said after working with us. And I'll drop the video in. People show up because now they're excited to be at this meeting. They're seeing other people, not you, say you're awesome. They're hearing other people say you're awesome. And now they want to be there, right? And they want to be a part of it. So you can put before and after photos. When people see transformation photos, they desire that for themselves. That's another form of a trailer. You can put in there a meet the owner video where you could just set up your phone and just tell your story and really try to pull at people's heartstrings and get them attached to you and why they should work with you. You can make a sizzle video of sessions in action, you know, hire a local videographer. I got so many videographers always hitting me up because fitness is a very visual industry. And they're like, hey, I'm trying to grow my portfolio. I'll make you a video. It'll be $150, you know, to $300. And I'll at least make a couple a year because they're just great promo materials that I can drop into automations like this. And then finally, you know, this is one of my favorites and the one we use when we're doing appointment setting is a custom excited to meet you video. All right. So essentially what it is you get your phone out and you got an appointment with a client named Susan. And so every morning our GMs film this and send it to all their appointments for the day ahead. So if I got 4 appointments that day, I'm going to show up at 9 a.m. and I'm going to make 4 custom videos. So I'll say, hey, Susan, it's Dustin here at Lead the Way Fitness. I'm so excited to see you. And I can't wait to help you with your fitness goals. So don't forget to park on the corner of so-and-so. And I'll see you later today. All right. See you soon. Boom. Right. And I'm going to just do it again for my second and my third and my fourth appointment, because that people like don't want to let people down. And when they know that there's a person at the gym, a lot of reasons they no show is because they don't know who they're letting down. There's no face to the name. They've just been getting texts from a person at a gym. But when they see my face and they see me at the gym and they say, I'm here waiting for you and I'm excited to meet you, then that holds them way more accountable. So guys, that's my combo right there. All right. Put a $10 appointment and send that custom excited to meet you video. And so again, just you giving the thumbs up. You got the gym in the background, you saying their name. Again, I know it'd be easy to just film one video and you send it to everybody, but there's nothing like when you say the person's name and how you're excited to meet with that person, right? So that is your weapons grade plutonium right there to improve show to your appointments, okay? All right, and now we're going to move on to the final part, which is wanting to improve your close. All right, I know, again, this is where the money comes in, and so this is definitely the vital part. So if you're struggling with closing, there's 3 tips that I want to give you around this specific problem, because again, I want to help you close. That's a great feeling. It's not just about collecting money, it's knowing you help this person to make a commitment that they probably wouldn't have made on their own. They probably would have talked themselves out of it. They probably would have kept pushing it. And honestly, why is that pain for the person? Because it's more years of them not happy with their body. It's more years of no confidence. It's more years of back pain. It's more years of low energy. Like, you are saving them from all of that when you get them to commit to this. So that's why I get fired up about closing people. All right. So the first thing is people need a reason to act now. So you want to create your version of a buy today incentive. Why do they need to buy now? Why can't I wait till Friday? Why can't I wait till next month? If you don't give me a reason, I'll just wait. And so there always has to be a buy now incentive. And so if people can wait and get the same price, ask yourself, why would they buy now? If you're literally going to offer me the same price on Friday, maybe I'm thinking I'm just stalling my, how quickly my bank account's getting drained, or trying to buy myself time till my next paycheck, or who knows the reason, right? And so if I'm a shopper and I'm trying to like be smart with my money, and you don't give me any reason that I need to act now, I will act later. And so we have to have a reason that pain will show up for stalling. There has to be a pain behind waiting, and not a pleasure or a gain or a victory. So to them, if they don't buy now and they get the same price on Friday, that's a victory. Aha, I just put off 4 days of spending money. I'm so good. I'm so smart. But if it's, I have a price right now, and if I wait till Friday, I pay more, I should be a smart buyer and I should buy right now, right? I should be better steward of my money. I shouldn't waste it and pay more than I need to. So we need to have a buy now incentive. So a couple things you can do. Fast action bonus, 10% off. Mrs. Jones, I'm so excited to work with you. I don't do this for everybody, but I want to get you going, and I don't want there to be any reason why you should wait. So I'm actually gonna hook you up. If you sign up with me today, I'll give you 10% off. What do you say? Does that sound fair enough, right? And that's it. You don't have to elaborate more than that. How about even a get started now bonus where they get an extra week of training? Let's say you're selling a 6-week challenge, but the challenge doesn't start for a few weeks. Hey, if you buy now, I'll let you start training with me now. You can start training this Monday, even though the challenge doesn't start for 2 weeks. I'll give you an extra week. You're gonna get 7 weeks for the price of 6. Okay, again, a buy now bonus, or even a tangible gift. Hey, we put in an order recently for shirts, and essentially, if you sign up with me today, I'll give you a shirt. I'll throw in a shirt for you to register with me today, right? A lot of people love t-shirts, so kind of you can play with them all and see which one gets you the most yeses. For me, it tends to always be the discount or the extra week. I mean, heck, if the shirt is pretty sick and it's got a cool design, I've even seen the shirt work really well. But usually it's going to be around saving money. Like, especially if you feel like you tend to run into a lot of price objections, we'll give them a way to save money and save you admin. Think about it. Like, you're like, oh, I don't want to give up my money. I don't want to give them a lower price. What is it worth you having to chase them down again and get on a second phone call and a second closing conversation and just doing all this work again a second time? What's your time worth, right? And so if it's that measly 10%, I'm willing to bet, I would just give it to them now on the front end and save you having to do follow-up, okay? So that's the first way to improve your close. The second is, let's say they really dig their heels in and they're saying, no, thank you, 10% off sounds good. I don't make decisions till I talk to the spouse. I need to go talk and then I'll get back with you. Well, that's where we want to use something called BAM-FAM, all right? And so if they're really firm and they want to talk to you, what tends to happen is gym owners just let them walk, and they'll say, okay, I'll reach back out to you. Let's circle back, maybe Monday. And it's this kind of like loose thing we leave terms on, and there's no clear time when we're going to talk again. So BAM-FAM stands for book a meeting from a meeting. And I've taught my team this. We BAM-FAM always. When we're wrapping up a meeting and we know we need to have another meeting, let's just book it now. Everyone get your calendars out, and it's just trained into our culture. So you want to BAM-FAM with this person. You want to book them their next meeting from the meeting that you're concluding right now. So, okay, hey, you got to talk to the spouse. Great. It's Thursday. Can you get your phone out? Let's put some on the books for Monday, right? I'm not even going to ask. I'm just going to go right for it. I'm going to assume. What do you say? Like, Monday, what time works for you? Do you prefer afternoon or evening, right? And I'm just going to get it on the calendar. So that's a quick one. We won't spend a lot of time on that, but that one works great. Finally, we want to create a post-meeting drip campaign. I talked about a pre-meeting campaign where you're hyping and there's all this excitement about you meeting with you and hearing about your program, but usually when they leave, they get nothing from us. It's just cold, and they only get colder the more time goes on. So you want to have a post-meeting drip campaign that keeps them excited about the idea of working with you. And so, essentially, once they decide not to buy, you can almost feel it, like the person just goes ice cold on you and they just don't care about you anymore. We don't want to do that. We want to still talk to these people, realize that most people who need help in fitness are just by nature procrastinators. They procrastinate to go to the gym, they procrastinate to eat healthy, and now they're sitting in front of you. And guess what their default setting is? I'm going to procrastinate. So don't get mad at them, right? I like that Martin Rooney says, don't get bitter, get better. So just say, okay, let's not get mad that they're procrastinating, but let's just make it so that our experience is amazing even after this decision, right? So I would create a text or email series that keeps them warm and just highlight client success, because people are selfish and they want what the other person has, they want themselves, right? So when they see someone else with a car, they're like, I want that car. When they see somebody else with the body, like, I want that body. So leverage that to get them to move. And so I really think just text blasts or emails are plenty. You don't need to go crazy, but they should all be story based, right? You don't want to do that generic, like, hey, just circling back, hey, just following up. People don't respond very much to that. But when there's stories that draw them in, that's the secret right there. So what I would say is you put in something where it's like, hey, great talking with you. I just wanted to share a quick story. Meet my client, Sarah. She has more confidence, right? And then the next day, hey, now I want to introduce you to my client, Jessica. She no longer feels guilty about carving out me time. And so if you can kind of have different stories, obviously that's going to work well in your favor because you're hitting all the different objections. And then, hey, also meet my client, Jonathan. Since working with me, he's now feeling stronger and more energized. And this was one of my personal favorites from our gym. This was Carolyn. And I would always just highlight her eyes. I was like, man, this chick got fierce from training with us at our gym, right? Like on the left side, she just looks like nice. And then on the right side, she just got strong and she just got fit and she just looked fierce every time she was training in the gym. Like she let the fire out and I loved it. And so a lot of meek, kind of low self-confidence people, they want that eye. They're like, man, I want to look badass and tough and I want to get, more mentally strong and resilient. And so this photo definitely got a lot of attention because of that. It wasn't about the body transformation. You could see in her eyes the mental transformation she went through, right? That confidence. So that is essentially what you would build into a post meeting campaign. And I'll tell you, that improves your close rate because a lot of people will just go cold and they'll just put their eye back on the new leads. But I'm telling you, those people, they made all that effort. They paid, if hopefully at this point, they paid your $10. They showed up, they heard the pitch. They're still very interested. They just got a lot of, concerns. And so they have to just have time to think through those and then get back with you. So you can still come back. I always play the nice guy. I'll go back to them with that buy now incentive, but I'll always put like a 24-hour like extension at most. So I might say, hey, I know I said that you only get the 10% off if you buy from me today, but I just wanted to make sure that, that's not a deterrent from you not working with us. So I'll go ahead and be a nice guy. I'll extend it just 24 more hours, but hey, I can't go beyond that. And what's great is if your team's closing for you, they can blame it on the owner, right? I tell the team, blame things on me. Say, hey, the owner approved I could extend it 24 hours, but they're not going to let me do it longer than that. My hands are tied. Are you okay with that, right? And so those are things that leverage them to move forward and work with you. So guys, I hope that was helpful. Again, my goal is to offer you guys more speed trainings. I don't want to like take up too much of your day. I want to get the most important content to you as fast as possible. And so today was a deep dive into set, show, close. But I do want to obviously make your life easier if that's possible. And so if you are in the position where you are not wanting to do lead nurture, maybe like closing, but you want a setter or you want someone to just take care of the lead nurture for you, that's what we do at GR. So essentially we got options for all budget levels. We help gym owners that are at 10,000 a month in revenue all the way up to $1 million gyms doing $60,000 to $80,000 a month. So hit me up and I can go over what's right for you. Our team is highly trained sales reps. They sell at my gyms before we put them into the real world of selling for other gyms. But many of them have at least 2 years sales experience. We don't invite anyone to join our team that doesn't at least have sales rep experience for 2 years. They'll do all your lead nurture, your texts, your calls, your emails, your DMs, and they do it in your CRM. So if you're in Go High Level or MindBody or Fit Pro Tracker, Zen Planner, Club Ready, like we know them all. So they will do all of it there so you can have eyes on it. And then again, the one thing I brought up earlier is evening hours being a hard time to staff or to do yourself. Well, we hire our team telling them they're going to work evening hours. And so they all are aware of that. And so they work evening hours Monday through Friday. So that's that. And I'm going to use some of my own ammo on you, which is a buy today special bonus. And so if you decide to come on board with GR, we are doing a first month discount here for everyone who attended the webinar. You get $200 off your first month. just mention it to me if you talk to me. And that is time constrained by, you have to sign up by Friday. So if you want to, I forgot to put this, but my URL is just freecallwithdustin.com. And so you can pretty much just book a call with me. Yes, it'll be me. You'll get on the phone with, and we'll talk through and see, you know, if GR is a good fit for you. But just go to freecallwithdustin.com or DM me on Facebook and Instagram, and I can get you set up. All right. So that is that. So if you guys have another topic you want me to cover on a future, you know, kind of webinar speed training, let me know, and I will build it into the rotation. All right. Thanks.